Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's SIMBA product training. It's great to see a lot of familiar faces here again this week, and hopefully some new ones as well. It's hard to flip through everyone's screens. But we are very excited this week. So McKenna Myler will be teaching us, as you can see, about how to create an environment for success. And you might be wondering how this relates to product training. But for all of us, right, when we pay for the Unicity products, that's an investment that we're making into our health, into our bodies, into our lifestyles. And there's a lot more that goes into getting the most from a product than just purchasing it, right? And there's also more than just consuming it. Right? And so when we are making investments and sacrifices to take care of these amazing machines that we all have, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get the results that we want, to make sure this investment has the best return possible. And so that's what McKenna will be talking to us about. And she is an expert on this topic because she's done it very well for herself. Not only is she an incredible athlete who has competed on national levels with her cross country and track running, but also she is one of the most, it seems to me, from looking from the outside, that she's just naturally healthy, that she doesn't have to work at it. But I know that's not the case because I've also learned that McKenna has an incredible sweet tooth, and she does like to have some desserts every now and then. But being someone with an incredible sweet tooth, she's actually gone all of 2020 so far without eating any sugar. This was something that her and my wife actually decided while they were just on a walk through a marketplace in Morocco just last year. Mike and myself were over there doing some UBT trainings for the distributors in Morocco, and they were out while we were working. And when they came back from this walk, they said, you know what, we're not eating sugar for all of next year. And I remember my wife said, so you want to do it with me? I said, nope. But good for you. And I didn't expect it to last very long because something like that requires an immense amount of willpower unless you create an environment for success. And whenever you have a large goal like that you want to achieve, designing and creating the environment that's going to help you achieve it is critical. And so we're very excited to hear what McKenna has for us today, and I'll turn the time over to her to educate us about that.
All right, thank you, Sam. So, Sam's right. I have definitely had to utilize this skill of creating an environment for success to be able to accomplish what I've accomplished so far. And so that's why I'm so excited to share this with you guys today, because this is real change. I've seen real change in my life when I had years of just struggling of doing the same thing over and over again. And now seeing that real change and what has come about, I'm excited to share that with you guys and how it relates to our Unicity products. All right, so I'm gonna share with you guys a little secret. The world's biggest goal, right? You see it everywhere on all media platforms, how to lose weight. Everybody wants to lose weight, right? Or I should say the majority of people go through a phase of wanting to lose weight. And so I have the secret right here. I'm gonna tell you guys about it, okay? So this is what happens, okay? You make a huge change in your life. You cut out all junk, and then you find some success, right? That week or two, you lose 4 pounds in the first week, right? And you feel like, yeah, this is right. This is what I should be doing. I made that big change. But actually then you crash and burn, okay? You end up binging because it was too strict, and you maybe emotionally eat, or you give in to a party or something where there's dessert right there at hand, right? And then you feel bad about yourself. You shame and blame yourself, and you think, I just need more discipline, right? So let's start again, okay? This is what I call, so I was just messing with you guys, This is not the secret. This is what every diet culture tells you to do, and this is what we take on. And this is called the cycle, or what I'm calling it is the cycle of defeat. Okay? Really, we get caught up in this cycle, right? And this last part, I just need more discipline, and then you get caught up in the cycle again. So let's look at that. How do we keep repeating this? So the world permeates with this motivation, right? They tell you this, and you tell yourself this. If you just try to be more disciplined, it'll work next time. Okay, if you keep at it for 21 days, you'll form a habit. You find a bigger and better reason, that'll be enough, right? Like that reason wasn't good enough. I need to find a better reason. Or maybe if you keep that why always in sight, put it on your fridge, make that vision board, right? And this is a really big one. Everyone wants to say, if you learn more about your health, you will want to be healthier and you'll make better decisions. Okay, so how many of you have seen an overweight physical trainer, right? You're like, wait, why can't you follow your own advice? And they know what they're talking about, but maybe they don't look like they know what they're talking about. Okay, and that is because of what I'm going to talk to you about today. So why does our motivation die? Okay, so and you can ask yourself, am I really seeing progress in these solutions? Or am I stuck in this cycle of defeat? Okay, so I have a little story for you guys. So the soldiers from the Vietnam War, all right? The officials from the US became very worried when they discovered that 15% of US soldiers stationed in Vietnam were heroin addicts. Okay, heroin is a really addictive drug. And follow-up research revealed that 35% of the service members in Vietnam had tried heroin and 20% were addicted. Okay, this is not a problem they wanted to bring back to the US. And so people were shocked. They were worried about the ramifications that would happen when they returned to the US. But when they returned to the US, only 9 out of 10 of the soldiers who used heroin in Vietnam, they eliminated their addiction overnight. Okay, so why did this happen? Were they suddenly just disciplined when they returned home? No, so they took a closer look in Vietnam, and the soldiers there, as they took this closer look, they spent all day surrounded by cues that triggered the heroin use. So the heroin was easy to access. They were engulfed by the constant stress of war. They built friendships with fellow soldiers who were also heroin users. They were thousands of miles from home. Okay, so these were cues triggering the heroin use. So once the soldier returned to the United States, they found that he or she found himself in an environment devoid of those triggers. So the environment changed, and so did the habit. Okay, this was a fascinating study that they found. So we can see, so I'm going to bring up, this is the map. If you guys were attending Sam Hughes' lecture a couple weeks ago, okay, this is our motivation and ability app. And this is how we form, this is how we form habits. Okay, so you can see the green line, or the green X, is where the soldiers, this green X over here, had the ability, or the green X on the right, sorry, had the ability to use heroin, okay? The ability was really low. But then when they returned home, the green X on the left, okay, when they returned home, that ability went down, so they no longer used the heroin, okay? So this was the Vietnam soldiers using the heroin, and this is when they were not using, right, when they went back home. So BJ Fogg talks about, he says, information alone does not reliably change behavior. This is a common mistake even well-meaning professionals make. The assumption is this: if we give people the right information, it'll change their attitudes, which in turn will change their behaviors. And I call this the information accuracy fallacy. So don't get me wrong, information is a great thing. Learning and motivation is a great start, okay? But it's not the end-all answer. There's more to the process, okay? So in Tiny Habits, or Sam talked about this book in his presentation as well, where motivation is really valuable. I'm here to talk about the middle part, the part where your behavior, despite wanting something so badly, we end up taking actions which are completely contrary to our end goal. Okay, so you said you want to lose weight. Why can you then not stop drinking soda or eating ice cream in your freezer? Okay, why does your weight loss only last a week or two? So this book talks about how we can reliably change behavior. And so the elements of behavior are motivation, ability, and prompt. So motivation is still a role, but people place way too much emphasis on motivation. So today we're going to talk about ability and prompt and how these are easy solutions to manipulate our environment and how that is going to change your behaviors successfully, okay? So motivation doesn't last. You always need newer and bigger motivation every day, right? And a good environment is going to lower the need for motivation. So a good environment wins every time. So you'll, quote unquote, disciplined people, okay, are actually better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require heroic willpower or self-control, okay? In other words, they spend less time in tempting situations. So their environment is not as tempting, okay? So we'll go on to show you. Stuart Hughes even says, motivation is a wasting asset, okay? You can't, as great as it is to get you to take action, you cannot always rely on it. All right, so I tried this out in a step-by-step process for you guys in the last 3 weeks to see if I could really change a habit. So I have a really bad habit of buying a family-sized popcorn bag, okay, because I haven't been eating sweets, so sometimes I've been eating too much salty foods, okay, and I buy this family-sized popcorn bag, and I eat the whole thing by myself, all right? And so I wanted to stop this habit for you guys, okay? So this has been in the last couple of weeks. And so I tried the step-by-step process so you can apply it to your life as well, okay? So first step, you write down one habit you want to stop. So I wanted to stop eating the whole bag of popcorn. All right, so step 2, we look at, for each habit, you can think of a way to remove or avoid the prompt. So removing the prompt, I could just not buy popcorn ever, right? Solved. Then I'll never eat popcorn and I'll never eat the whole bag. Step 3, for each habit, think of a way to make it harder to do. Okay, so this is another option. Split the bag into 2 halves and zip up the rest for later. Okay, so that's a good option I thought about. Step 4, another option, think of a way to reduce your motivation. Okay, so only eat popcorn with other people. That would reduce my motivation because then I'd have to share. Maybe I wouldn't want them to think I was, eating too much, and so I would eat less. So I decided with step 5 to select my best solution, which was split the bag in 2 halves and zip up the rest for later. So I changed the environment, right? Instead of just having this bag sitting in front of me and telling myself that I can't eat the whole thing, I removed the bag completely and put it in the bowl, okay? Because I didn't want to get stuck in that cycle of defeat, so I didn't pick the first one of not buying popcorn ever. Because sometimes we can't just eliminate things, right? We have to really change our environment. So let's look at other ways. Our environment is our prompt. Sometimes we have ice cream in the freezer, right? And if you get that craving and the ice cream is in the freezer, what do you think you're gonna do? You're going to eat the ice cream, right? Or you're gonna spend 3 days saying, no, I won't eat the ice cream. And then on the 3rd day, you'll eat the ice cream because it's there. Another prompt in our environment is having the phone next to the bed. So when you wake up, you check the weather, you check the time, you check social media, right? Instantly, because the prompt of the phone is right there. And there's also good things, right? So putting the running shoes by the door. When you see those running shoes, it's a prompt to go exercise. Or maybe you have fruit stacked in your fridge. So that's the first thing you want to grab. That's your prompt to eat good fruit. Or maybe you have LC base front and center in your cupboard, right? Then that's your prompt to just grab the protein. So we're trying to make ease work for you. Okay, we're imperfect beings, and often we like to take the easiest route. That makes us feel good, right? So we're gonna take what's right in front of us. So another one is omega-3. I put omega-3 next to my toothbrush, okay? Because I always brush my teeth, so I'm always reminded to take that omega-3. So you're probably asking yourself, how does Unicity's products make life easier? How is this going to relate? Okay, so incremental progress leads to sustainable success. Okay, if you know the plant bamboo, you'll know that it works and grows and works and grows below the ground, okay, to set up a good root system. And then it shoots up, okay, and it's really noticeable when it does. It's a very tall plant. People don't want to plant this plant because you can't get rid of it because the root system is so strong, okay? So the following two products I'm going to talk to you about, they give us that sustainable success because they're small and easy additions, and they take a long time to grow that root system. But if we don't take them consistently, the bamboo never grows. So today, we're talking about products that give us prolonged success, not immediate success. So when it comes to most life changes, people want to make those big, bold moves that don't actually work, as well as the small, stealthy ones, right? So these are our stealthy products. These products, they're gonna make those tiny changes in your body that amount to big changes in our bodies in the long run. So you have to make them habitual, and you have to make them a part of your environment. And last, people change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. So luckily, Unicity's products are made with convenience in mind, and they're easy to incorporate into our environment. And so when we make one good decision for your health, you're more likely to build off that momentum than if you were shaming yourself into health. Okay, so the skill of redesigning our environment is a vital skill to lasting change, and Unicity's products are going to help us do that. So we can see here with improving skin health, okay, we're going to take our motivation, and well, we're going to take our ability, right, and move it over the action line, okay, so that we are taking care of our skin and we're improving it slowly and surely every day. So let's talk about Neigene. All right. So Neigene has quality fish collagen. All right. It's got that type 1 collagen that helps skin and hair and nails look younger. And when you're looking at skin health products, you want type 1 collagen. If it has type 2 and type 3 in there, those are not helping your skin health. They're good for you, but they're not doing what you think they're doing if they're in skin and beauty products. So type 1 is going to help with hydration, elasticity, smoothness, and firmness. And this is in your skin, your hair, and your nails. Type 1 is really valuable for that. Okay, so type 1 also promotes healing in the wounds. Okay, again, it's just skin health. And then it supports the process of calcium absorption in the bones. So another key ingredient is Triphala, and Triphala is a mix of fruits that rebuilds skin proteins, it activates youthful genes, and provides UV protection. So this is really, again, just helping your skin health, slowly but surely. And then bilberry is the last ingredient we're going to talk about, and this assists in the supply of oxygen-rich blood flow to every layer of the skin. So it allows the uptake of nutrients to the skin. So when you eat food, right, some nutrients are excreted out, you waste them, okay? And if you have better blood flow, you are more likely to take up the nutrients that you are putting into your body. And Bilberry helps with that. It's going to increase that blood flow. So that's necessary to take up the nutrients. Okay, Bilberry is going to slow the aging process with vitamin C, resveratrol, and antioxidants. Those protect cells from damage. So our summary, really quickly: healthier skin from within with Neigene. Okay, you have that marine collagen, that type 1 that we talked about. It's going to help with your skin elasticity, smoothness, and hydration. The Triphala helps with wounds, scars, burns, healthier bones with calcium uptake, UV rays, and free radicals. Okay, and Bilberry increases blood flow and the source of antioxidants. That's huge. That's a really big deal. Okay, so this is how we take Neigene. We combine one packet with, this is the suggested version, okay? 180 milliliters of water. Drink before a meal to improve collagen digestion and reduce bloating, and then use daily for best effects. So it's notable effects take around 4 weeks. Okay, those are the studies we've done with Neigene. So after a month of taking Neigene, how are you going to feel? Right, the first day may not feel incredible. After a month, your skin is going to look better. Okay, it's going to look firmer. So how can we keep Neigene in our environment instead of drinking soda or wanting something sweet after dinner? So how are we going to grab a packet of Neigene instead? So here are some ideas for creating a Neigene habit. And I've tried all of these and they work great because Neigene, it tastes really well. So you can use it as a flavor sweetener in recipes. You can replace juice or soda. Combine it with plain yogurt for dessert. That one's really good. Sometimes I add some peanut butter into that yogurt as well. And then you can add to a daily protein shake. Okay, and make the placement obvious. So maybe put Neigene next to the blender because you know you're going to add it into your protein shake. Put it next to the yogurt or in a cabinet at eye level. Okay, when it's present and then it's on your mind and you will use it. Okay, and then it becomes part of the habit. So now let's talk about omega-3, okay, which is reducing inflammation in our bodies. So how are we going to take our ability to reduce inflammation in our bodies, which is below the action line, to above the action line? Okay, we're trying to make our physiology work for us, okay, not against us. So in omega-3, we have the main ingredients of EPA and DHA, and these are converted to resolvins. So what does that even mean, right? EPA, DHA, these words don't mean anything to anyone. But when it's converted to a resolvin, that's what you need to know. Because resolvins lower inflammation. And lowering inflammation is going to help with sports performance, cognition, eye health, brain health, joint health, heart health, and mood. Okay, inflammation affects a ton of things in the body. And so that's why there are a ton of benefits when we're lowering the inflammation to a good amount. Okay, so if we look at other generic products of omega-3, they're not as pure as ours. Okay, they don't, those EPA and DHA, it does not convert into as many resolvins because it's not pure. Ours is pure, so it's 10 times more effective at converting into resolvins, which reduces that inflammation. And with that lower inflammation, okay, remember what I said, that people change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. So when inflammation is down, you feel good. And then look at how much, just think how you are going to improve in all of these areas. Okay, how much effort or motivation would be required to improve in any of these areas without help? Okay, Omega Life helps you create your own environment where these are consistently improving. So it's like putting money in a stock market. Okay, that's guaranteed to go up every single day. Okay, you're using this ability to improve, so your motivation improves as well. I like to call this concept the rich get richer, right? So if you feel good, you're going to make better decisions, and then you're going to keep making more and more decisions that are better for your health. So I'll go over these briefly, but this is the 6-week study they did with omega-3, with the Unicity's omega-3, to show that the white matter in the brain was decreased. Okay, we've collaborated with notable universities, but right, we don't necessarily have to spend too much time on this, but just know that there are notable universities and studies proving these things. So in summary, for Omega Life 3, the EPA and DHA converted to Resolv production, which is, and because it is very pure, that's going to lower the inflammation. So those resolvins lower inflammation for heart health, eye sharpness, sport performance, childhood development. And then we also increase the white matter. The white matter is going to help with cognitive brain function and benefit mood. Okay, so omega-3 has so many benefits that you may not see if you just take it once. Okay, but if you take it over time, you will see these benefits. And this is how we take omega-3. Okay, you take 4 soft gels daily with water, and then for best results, you consume with food. This is suitable for children, and there's actually studies with women's health coming out that is particularly helpful for inflammation in menstruating women, because in menstruating women, there is a lot of inflammation that goes on with their high hormone phase when they have the influx of that. All right, so where are you going to keep your Omega Life 3? How are you going to feel after a month of decreased inflammation? Okay, so how are we going to create Omega Life 3 as a habit? I put it next to my toothbrush. Okay, so you can place it next to your toothbrush. You can place it next to Neigene. You can put it next to the salt you use for breakfast eggs, right, to take it with some food. You can place it next to the protein bar you eat right before you go exercise. I used to do that because omega-3 helped with that inflammation, so I like to take it right before I ran. Okay? So in conclusion, we want to make health a habit. All right? We want to take control of our environment. So the skill of redesigning your environment is vital for lasting change. This is sustainable change. And place Unicity products front and center. By doing this, you're replacing unwanted junk food, and you're going to build momentum for better health choices. I've seen this in my own life. I know that you'll be able to see it in yours. Okay, so people change best by feeling good, not by feeling bad. You can't shame yourself into health. Okay, you take more action by feeling good. And the last thing, we want to aim for small and sustainable success, which are these products at Unicity. Okay, the rich get richer, 1 penny at a time, right? Those choices keep adding up onto each other until you have built healthy habits into your life. So we may not get the luxury as those Vietnam soldiers of being able to move to the opposite side of the world to change our environment, but we can change our environment in our homes. We can avoid that cycle of defeat, right? The diet culture that is trying to defeat us, and create a sustainable cycle of success for our health. So thank you guys for tuning in. I think we'll go to questions.
Yeah, thank you, McKenna. That was wonderful. And I see some questions are already starting to come in. This is a topic that is very, very important to me because I've seen its impact on my life as well. And before we get to the questions, I just wanted to emphasize some of the points that McKenna made, especially because, I mean, if I unplug my computer right now, see if we can take on a quick tour of the little apartment I'm staying in while I'm in Utah. All right, but the environment for success is critical. And so there's a few things that I've done because I know that my discipline doesn't go that far. All right, the first one is that, well, I sleep right over there, but that's not where I keep my alarm or my phone. All right, when my phone goes off in the morning at 6 a.m. every day, it's in the drawer of this desk. And that guarantees me that I'm getting up. I have to get up. The next thing I know is my yoga mat is already going to be laid out on the floor and have the foam roller right next to it, so that there's no way I forget or can put off getting down on the yoga mat, doing my meditation, rolling out. Another thing is I won't even keep my Unicity products in a cabinet, because if they're in a cabinet, then I don't see them every day. But I want to make sure, and so I always find a place to put them where they're out in the open, all right, where I'm going to see them every time I go in the kitchen. And that has helped me so many times to not forget to take the balance before the meal, or not forget to take the omega-3. Oh, and the one other thing that I think has been super helpful for me is I always keep at least one of these diamond bottles in the fridge full of cold water at all times, so that whenever I want to mix something up, I've already got something ready. And so, right, designing your environment, like McKenna's taught us, is something that takes so little discipline to do compared to the grand changes that some of these Instagram influencers or YouTube influencers or doctors will request that you do to dramatically change your life. But habits, right, those are the compounding interest of behavior. And the longer you do them, the more impact you get. But if you don't have an environment designed for success, doing them consistently almost never happens, right? Because we're human. And so please find opportunities starting today, right? Of thinking, what's one tiny change I can make in my home? Right? It doesn't mean you need to just throw out all the junk food in your house tomorrow. Your kids might get upset if you do that, right? Sometimes they need that to get some calories in them. But there are small things that you can always do. Getting that foam roller out, doing the things, and apply it to much more than just the products. Apply this to any aspect of your life that you have a habit or something that you've been wanting to improve in. But now that I'm done sharing my 2 cents on that, let's open it up and see if we have some questions to answer. Right now there's only one, but if other people have questions, especially on this topic or regarding the products that McKenna has discussed, please share those in the chat, and McKenna will take the next 5 or so minutes to answer any questions that come in.
All right, am I on mute? No, okay. So the first question, can kids take them, and which products are a no-no for kids? So kids have not experienced the wear and tear of life, right? So when it comes to caffeine related products, they don't necessarily need that, right? But kids are still going to benefit from products such as these with Neigene or omega-3, okay? Especially omega-3. One of our leading scientists he gives his kids a dose of omega-3 every morning, okay? It's still really important for their health. So they will be fine taking those products.
Sweet.
Let's see. So once digested becomes an amino acid. Oh, sorry. For Neigene, collagen, our protein, once digested, becomes an amino acid. So how is it going to build only the skin and not the other parts of the body? So amino acids, right? They vary across the board, and so just because it becomes an amino acid doesn't mean that it becomes the same amino acid as every other amino acid, right? It's still type 1 collagen, which is an amino acid. You're correct, but it's geared towards the amino acids that make up your skin, hair, and nails, right? Type 2 amino acids go towards the cartilage, right? And type 3 collagen, when it turns into amino acid, it goes towards your intestines. So let's see the next question. is I heard that Neigene is supposed to be consumed before you go to bed. Is the time not important? The time isn't quite as vital as some other products, right? But with timing, nutrients are consumed better with other foods, okay? Because they help support the absorption of nutrients and vitamins that are in there. But you can I take it before bed and it'll still have good effects because you're still digesting your dinner. And so yeah, that is a good time to take it still, even though it's probably better with food.
I'll just read these two.
Okay.
I was told to take collagen on an empty stomach for the best efficacy.
Yeah, so you can take it right before your meal because you're consuming amino acids. But yeah, I think that you would be fine taking it after your meal as well. You'll still absorb those nutrients.
Can you offer a suggestion on how an 8-year-old can take salmon omega pills?
Because they're big. A suggestion might be taking it with food. You can, this might sound a little gross, but you can chew up a little bit of food and stick it in there and then swallow it. Sam, did you have a suggestion on that?
I did. Well, I just know that there's several Korean distributors that are big fans of the Omega Life 3 because their kids like to eat them like candy. And they'll just pop them in and bite down, and they love that fishy taste. I can't do it. Doesn't work for me, but I just thought I'd share that thing that some people have used.
So what is the recommended dosage for omega-3 for depression? So this isn't going to solve depression. It supports it, okay? It supports the white matter integrity in the brain. But the recommended dosage is still 4 capsules a day, okay? And that the study they did with that to improve the white matter integrity was over 6 weeks. So that was, it's not going to work in a week, right? It's going to take a little bit for that matter to increase.
Suli says, poke the omega capsule and dribble it over the food for the kid.
That's not a bad idea. Dribble it over some rice.
The next question, how do you take Omega Life for people on warfarin?
Yeah, I would talk to a doctor about that. I'm not familiar with with warfarin. That would be something you probably should discuss with your doctor. Any other questions? I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap that up. If you have other questions, as always, you can reach out to our product trainers. And one note is that some of the TED Talks that I've watched on omega-3s and depression, the scientist that's on the forefront of that recommends getting 1,000 milligrams for the large one. I had to look exactly, but I know that his recommendations are exactly the same amount that are in the Omega Life Resolv product. We have our ratios exactly what he recommends for the people he works with based on all of his research. So that's something that I thought really stood out to me. But on the larger note, one other thing that popped up as we went through these questions is, there's always that question of when's the best time to take this? And this can be a trap that we fall into, right? There's a few products like Balance, BioSlife C, right? The timing is very important, right? You want to take that 10 to 15 minutes before your meal, because if you take it an hour before your meal, it's not going to do much good. A little bit, but not nearly as much. But for most of the Unicity's products, it's much more important that you take them consistently than that you take it at exactly the right moment. And I myself have been guilty of falling into that trap where I'll say, I need to put this off so that I can take it at the right moment. And then that moment comes and I'm busy, I forget, and I go and I don't ever take it. And so when it comes to products like Neigene, Omega, yes, I do have the times I prefer to take it, but if I'm in the mood, if I've got it and I want to have that, oh, sure, go for it. Because for me, it's more important to be consistent. But overall, the last thing I want to share before we finish up our session today is a quick sneak peek of the July training schedule. So this is something that you'll be receiving in emails and other announcements soon. But I wanted to briefly showcase for everyone the trainings that you can be looking forward to throughout the next month that we have coming up. And so we'll be kicking off the month with Dr. Lucas Grant, who will be talking to us about how to protect our eyesight. And then we'll listen to our product trainer in Indonesia on the different health boosts that we can do to give ourselves a huge boost in taking care of our body, or maybe our buddies, when we're on a budget. And then Claudia is going to dive a lot deeper into the skincare, right? And teach us all the ABCs of skincare, what Unicity products we can use to really get ourselves glowing. And then Mike I'm really excited about all of these, but Mike is someone that, I don't know if many of you know, but he was a collegiate gymnast on scholarship to the team that was the number one team in the country. And so he's going to be talking about how to get over that hump, both in regards to using the products or anything that you're working towards. And then we'll be coming back to McKenna at the end of July to teach us about, well, how do we use low carb and Unicity's low carb products if we're not keto people, right? Because some of us, not that interested in keto. And McKenna will be an expert at that because she's someone who doesn't do it, but she still loves taking advantage of those low carb products. So that's just a quick preview. We've got a lot that we'll be learning over the next month, but thank you everyone for tuning in today. And we'll be excited to talk to you next Thursday. But have a great rest of your day and best of luck creating an environment for your success. And thank you, McKenna.